everyone. Welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. This is Anthony hosting, and I'm joined by the usual gang. We wanted to talk about a little rumor that we heard recently and give our thoughts on it and what we think it means, if it means anything, and just kind of theorize for a bit. First of all, to kind of give you the source material. So this came up from a recent Nintendo investors conference. It was the 83rd annual conference. As part of the conference, there was an FAQ portion where apparently a question was asked relating to the follow-up console to the Switch. There were some interesting things that came out of that. Now, a lot of this information is coming from translations of a Japanese transcript, so I can't, I'm studying Japanese, but I am nowhere near good enough to actually read that thing myself. So I can't directly confirm, but I've seen reports on the transcripts, and there's some interesting little tidbits in there that I think, we wanted to turn into a discussion topic today. So far, Nintendo has shown absolutely no hesitance to deny any rumors of its existence.
Yeah, either deny or just nothing to announce or nothing to say at this time, right? That kind of thing.
But in this case, it seems like this is the first time that the president of Nintendo has actually responded with an answer that suggests that it definitely exists. I mean, we know obviously that eventually we'll get a successor, but the answers that he gave made it sound like it might be closer than we were originally led to believe. Yeah, very possible. Because the answer he gave, so it sounds like he didn't necessarily directly answer the question. Again, I'm not even sure, the nature of the question entirely, but what he did say is that he wants to make the transition between consoles as smooth as possible. And the little tidbit that was kind of a direct statement from him, as I understand it, is that they're going to do this by utilizing the same account systems that's currently on the Switch. So NSO will translate over.
Yes.
And presumably all the games that you've got access to through that, I'm with it.
That is so big.
That is a very big deal. Like
huge.
If things I've bought on the eShop with my account carry over, just think about that. Has any console ever done that?
No. They have not. They've started over every time with their emulators.
Was that not? Okay, so I'm not sure. Was that not a thing with Wii and Wii U?
Nope. I don't think it was.
Nope.
Okay.
Definitely
they started over on the Wii U.
Definitely not between Wii U and Switch.
Yeah.
Nope, that too. Yep, both of them.
Well, I hope that it continues because it's getting annoying feeling like you have to buy the games you like in every generation.
Yeah.
Every 5 or 6 years you buy it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of theories that have kind of come out of this, and maybe this is just me jumping to conclusions and wishing upon a star, but bear with me, because I feel like this is the first time not only that Nintendo has officially even acknowledged the possibility of its existence, which is a huge step up from what they've been doing so far, but also the first time that it seems like all of the rumors that we've been hearing are starting to converge toward a discernible point. It's no longer far off in the horizon where you can't see where it might land. It kind of seems like it's starting to get close.
Maybe all these rumors have been accurate to a degree. None of them have been right about timing, but maybe they're at least, like you said, converging little bits of information that were accurate at some point.
In the wise words of Kronk, oh yeah, it's all coming together.
I mean, that's an excellent quote, so yes. Here's my theorizing right now. So, in addition to the little tidbit that we got from the investors conference, which I've already established seems like a big deal, we have the fact that Nintendo, they've indicated that they're going to be attending, I forget which conference it is, the one that takes place in August. I should have done my homework. But the thing that I found interesting when they first announced that is, I was thinking this is not really Nintendo's MO anymore. They do everything through directs, and it kind of makes sense because it works for them. There's, they save on costs. And so I was thinking, well, maybe they're making an exception in this case, and they're going to announce the back half of the year, the games that we're going to be getting, and maybe a few that roll into early 2024. But they just did that in the Direct that we just had just the other week.
Yep.
And so now the question remains, okay, if they're going to use a Direct, as they have been wont to do lately, to discuss the games that are coming, then what are they going to talk about at this conference in August? If it's going to be more games, then why are they going to the conference?
And we know Nintendo likes to do their Nintendo Directs for games. They don't even do E3 presentations. Nobody is. But like summer presentations, like most of the companies did it around E3 time. Nintendo didn't. They still want to do their own like digital presentations outside of these conferences. So the fact that they, like you're saying, that they're attending this is interesting. I don't think it's just for games.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, especially since they've already played their hand as far as what's coming in the near future. Nintendo isn't one to announce games too far in advance, and there's some exceptions. I mean, we all feel the pain with Metroid Prime 4, but that's kind of a special case.
Some very painful exceptions. By the way, the conference you were talking about, Anthony, is called Gamescom.
Thank you. Gamescom, that's what it was. Thank you for fact-checking that, David.
when they announced that they were going to be attending it, the interesting thing is that somebody that was talking about it pointed out Nintendo. The last time Nintendo actually attended this event, they announced new hardware. So,
you heard it here first. Oh, by the way, we should also do a plug in here that Lisa bought a Nintendo Switch OLED.
Yeah,
so that officially started the
chain. This is why we're getting this news.
I'm the one that found the article. I was like, oh, there we go. Yep, just as
Lisa,
expected.
We thank you for your sacrifice. May the odds be ever in your favor.
All Nintendo fans, you owe your gratitude to Lisa for finally buying the OLED.
That's right. I will take your undying loyalty.
Kiss the ring.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
So,
go ahead, David.
The new hardware they announced, it was probably just a Switch revision or something like that, but they announced it at like this conference, I believe. I don't know if it was just the Switch, that had better battery kind of thing, the new SKU, or if it was actually the OLED.
I feel like it was the OLED.
Yeah, it could have been. So some of those details are I'm a little unclear on, but that's what they pointed out. Like the last time Nintendo actually bothered to attend this thing, it was to announce new hardware. So yeah, so that is something worth thinking about.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. I don't know. The timing is all because Nintendo has been so close-lipped lately. They're very, very cautious about their announcements. They love to shadow drop things these days. And there's a leaker community that seems still to be very eerily accurate in their predictions sometimes. It still remains that Nintendo is very protective. And so for them to be making direct, presumably at least semi-official statements that indicate not only its existence, but also perhaps a timeline to getting the announcements. It's seeming like we might have something coming. And I will also say, with a caveat, at the same time, I'm not holding my breath because this is Nintendo.
Simply Nerdy advises you not to hold your breath. So please.
It is our professional opinion that holding your breath is not advisable medically.
Our troll was, guys, we're reading way too far into this. What they're going to do at Gamescom is just show more footage of the new Super Mario Bros. And Wonder. That's all they're going to do.
Stop
Well,
the
what
narrative, then, Steven. That's not what we're saying.
It's probably good for Steven to troll a little bit because we can't. Nintendo is very capable of disappointing
Yes.
sometimes.
Yes, they are.
No,
But
and I'm not.
all
And
joking
again,
aside, I hope Anthony's right. I hope we do get a hardware announcement here for the record. But I do have to troll a little bit because Nintendo's Nintendo. They don't follow anything
they don't march
as much
to
as we hope that they do.
Yeah.
They do whatever they want.
We have to give them credit. Sometimes they're very good at giving us what we didn't know we wanted. We just
It's true.
That's how the game is.
Trade-off there.
Yep.
There's a
Mhm.
trade-off.
Yep.
That's often very worth it. But
And maybe this is just the hopeful part of me talking, but I feel like this is one of the best cases where we have, what seems to be a lot of supporting evidence. Comments from Nintendo themselves, indications of plans to, attend conferences that make no sense for them to attend if they don't have anything big to announce. At least, I don't know why they would want to attend a conference to announce games when they can save a ton of money by not doing that.
and September is often a time when they do like a fall Nintendo Direct. So why would they not just wait for that to announce games?
Right. So I think that there's more reason than usual to be hopeful, and that's what we wanted to talk about here. And there's a lot of things that make me hopeful about not only the timing but also the form of it, because once again Nintendo said they want to make the transition between the consoles as smooth as possible, and the way that they named specifically was using the same account system. But I'm sitting here thinking you can't really claim that it's going to be super smooth if, one, it's not the same form factor, and two, it doesn't have backwards compatibility. I believe that it's going to be backwards compatible, and one of the reasons that I believe that is that I point back to their statement in the investors conference that they were going to utilize the same account system. So my thought is, okay, if they're going to roll over NSO into the next console, and that's one of the major selling points for them, then my question is, okay, well, some of the most compelling offerings of NSO is DLC to Switch games. So can you really claim that you're giving us the same account system if there's no backwards compatibility and therefore we cannot play
Any of those DLCs anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention the virtual console. I mean, that's also great too. Don't get us wrong, guys. That is also great.
Yes, absolutely.
And they have to roll over.
I can't use that as evidence for my argument.
No, but we already talked about that previously, so yeah, you should have heard that already. Anyway.
I think there's a good chance that it's going to be backwards compatible, and I think that is also, I don't know, in my opinion, a sign that we might be seeing something soon.
But is it going to be a Switch 2? Or is it going to be a home console only?
I think it's going to be a Switch 2. I was looking over some of the notes and statements from the president of Nintendo, and one of the things that I saw was a statement that he made that sounded like he was basically establishing solidarity with the form factor of the Switch and the fact that it allows people to enjoy games wherever they are. And so I don't know why he'd say that and then be like, but we're moving away.
Yeah,
I hope they don't. I hope they don't.
Okay, so the fact that they abandoned the 3DS makes me feel like it's likely that they will continue having the Switch be at least somewhat portable, because if I remember correctly, I remember hearing that the 3DS was extremely popular in Japan because of it being portable. So it kind of seemed to me that the reason why they would abandon that is because the Switch now is taking that market.
Yeah. So
Yep, absolutely did.
They either have to keep going the hybrid route, or they have to bring back separate home console and handheld, right?
I think that would be monumentally stupid.
I agree.
Yeah. So I think, the funny thing is I just saw a rumor today, and this isn't from the investor conference, so it's take with more grains of salt, but that the Switch 2 would be as powerful as a PS4. So if that's true. I mean,
Was
obviously
that the rumor that it was going to be as powerful as the PlayStation 4?
that was just a rumor I saw today. So
Okay.
potentially, I mean, that's significantly more powerful than the current Switch.
Take that with more of a grain of salt than the conferences. But I hope that's true. I'd be happy if that was true.
I did see that. The article I saw, though, was attributing the opinion to Bobby Kotick, and he hasn't proven himself an especially trustworthy person. So,
So pour that salt, pour it. And
You need a little bit more salt now, and I need some pepper on that salt.
I just thought it was interesting, like that people are talking about that, and that would be a significant jump in power. It's not going to be the next gen everyone wants.
I don't
If
care.
that was-
As long as
if
it
that
has
was true.
4K, as long as it has 4K, I'm happy. And as long as it has, well, I like 60 frames a second. So
Yeah.
if I could have 60 frames a second for every Nintendo Switch title, plus 4K resolution, I'm happy, man. That's all I need. That's all I need. I'm happy. Forever. Maybe.
Forever.
Maybe not forever. Maybe we'll get like 10K out eventually. Well, I guess we have 10K. We have 10K in some cameras now, but
I'd like 10K.
no TVs yet. But anyway, 4K looks great. Your eyes can't see past that anyway, much.
unless you're using a screen so large that you're kind of creating your own problem.
Right. So that, like I say, I'm fine with that forever because my eyes can't see past that anyway, forever. I can't change that. So great. Give me 4K, 60 frames a second. I will be there day one.
Then they release Cyborg Eyes.
Well, I guess you could always give me a solid state drive too, for faster loading times. But that's
now
another.
we're getting
That's
to
the
the
next
point
gen
where,
thing.
it's not physically possible to have a portable console. That has
All
all
right. He's right. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'll be
I
happy.
don't think it can be a solid state with the handhelds. I don't think
Yeah.
that.
It would be very.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'll be happy. Yeah, that'd be great.
Carry around your computer tower with you.
Yeah, decrease portability to increase power.
Guys, we have about a minute left. Sorry. Dave.
Perfect. Well, I think we're
It's
done
okay.
anyway.
I want to talk about one more thing before we're done.
Never
It
mind.
It might break your plan.
Oh dear,
Sorry.
Dave. Okay, go ahead.
What I want to talk about, in addition to the investor conference information, comments from the Nintendo of America, or not, I'm sorry, the president of all Nintendo. There's also interesting information coming from other third-party developers. Like Nintendo told Ubisoft, recommended they wait to release the Mario plus Rabbids sequel next. They said wait for the Switch 2 or whatever. I don't know the exact wording. And Ubisoft kind of regretted not listening to that advice because the sequel hasn't sold nearly as well as the first game. So, which is tragic. Nintendo's basically mindset was, they kind of cannibalize sales of each other. So you got to wait for the next hardware to get the most of your sales.
Which I still think is funny because they did 2 Zeldas on this thing, Nintendo.
Yeah.
You gave the advice. You did the thing. You gave the advice not to do.
Yeah. But
It's
they've
fine.
kind of, if you look at what the releases that they've done over the years, they've kind of followed that though.
They have.
There haven't
Oh,
been-
absolutely
there
have.
There haven't been too
They've
many
stuck to
repeats.
that very close to the chest.
So
This
first
is the
of
one
all,
generation that they did do that, and I was thankful because I needed that Zelda game on this console.
yeah.
I couldn't wait any longer.
So, I mean, it's very interesting. Does this mean Ubisoft knows for sure that there's a Switch 2? Was it just general advice?
Well, it was rumored a while ago that the dev kits for this new this new whatever this is was out a while ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe it's not the direction they're going anymore. Who knows? But there was some kind of hardware going around. And
I guess so.
supposedly rumors of Nintendo saying get your games 4K ready at one point. But those are all rumors though. Like take those all with a grain of salt.
The last thing I want to say about this, so just that mindset, Nintendo's running out of IPs to follow their own advice for.
Yeah, they are. Rapid rate.
Where the games they announced, we're getting a 2D Mario, a brand new 2D Mario, which we haven't had yet. Yeah, they're gonna have to start recycling IPs. And
We already had our 3D Mario.
yeah, we've had the 3D Mario, maybe
2 Zeldas.
maybe Mario Odyssey 2 exists and it's been done. Who knows? But they're saving it for the next hardware.
Arguably 3 Zeldas with that remake.
But that was a 2D Zelda.
It was a 2D Zelda, but still.
They treat it separate. I don't mean like one.
They do treat it separate. But we got our 2D Zelda, we got 2 3D Zeldas. Yeah, they got the Metroid. Well, yeah, something Metroid coming, maybe.
Metroid. I don't know. I'm thinking that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a next gen game.
Launch title. Sweet.
I want it to be. So anyway, just think about that though. If that's really their mindset, they're either going to have to start breaking their own advice for the Switch, or the next hardware is coming soon.
Yeah, well, and to that point, something else I want to point out about what you're saying about Nintendo's advice to Ubisoft. Why would they give them that advice if, for a game that's done, if
done.
console isn't coming out for another 5 years?
For real.
I'm thinking that also is a pretty big indicator. Like, why would you give this advice if it's not going to be anytime soon?
You guys don't need money for this game until later.
So I think that's also a big, pretty telling thing. Like, wait for it because you won't have to wait that long.
Right.
That's what I'm hearing from it. Anyway. So
take this off with a grain of salt. Sorry, go ahead.
I think we can probably wrap it up here, but the main idea is there's a lot of rumors, and they have, in my opinion, a lot more foundation than they generally do, and it's all seeming to point to an imminent announcement. I'm hoping that's the case, but you should let us know your thoughts. Do you think we're smoking the salt here?
No, we're smoking the shrooms, Anth. We're smoking the shrooms.
The Wonder Shrooms. Or do you agree? Do you feel like that something is coming, or at the very least that something should be coming? Because I think Nintendo is starting to run out of steam. I don't know. They need to do something. So
they're running out of steam from a games perspective. That's the clearest thing. Like, we keep thinking that it's because of sales that they're going to keep this Switch alive as long as they possibly can. But
I forgot about this. We actually got 2 Splatoons on the same console too, and DLC and Splatoon DLC.
So the
for both games.
Conclusion here is that we will follow up with you in August after Gamescom.
We have more news coming from Tears of the Kingdom and some books from Brandon Sanderson that we still got to talk about. Secret Project 3. Anyway, Secret Project 3 is coming out on Friday. As of time of recording, so we're excited.
Yeah. Huzzah! Anyway, let us know your thoughts. I think there's something here. I'm hoping there's something here. And we'd love to hear what you all think. Anyway, I'm going to stop theorizing now because I don't want to get my hopes up any higher than they already are. Because I also need to prepare myself to be disappointed. That's just something that a longtime Nintendo fan just has to have as a contingency. So I will stop it there. But I'm hopeful and somewhat excited. So until next time,
keep it nerdy.